welcome back. We are so excited because the day we have all been waiting for is finally here today when this episode airs. The NFL is
Let's go.
back. So we are filming this the night before, but we are so excited to be kicking off the 2025 season tomorrow. And we cannot wait to dive in, make all of our predictions about what's going to happen. Obviously, 0% of them are going to come true because that's how it works. Um, but welcome to the playbook. I'm Leighton, and it is very late, and so I am in my Bills Mafia jammies.
My God. I am Jake, and I am already tired from a long, hard week, but I'm excited for the season to start, and that's going to be like my lifeblood tomorrow.
I'm Noah, and it's been a depressing week because Alabama lost. But it's okay because the Seahawks are back Sunday, and we're going to do great.
Yeah, he definitely hasn't been spiraling all week, and already he's planning Alabama's comeback for like 15 years from now. He's like, "Don't worry, it's a deep reset. It's a deep reset." Yeah, so hopefully any of those Alabama fans out there hang in there. This is your first loss in like 15 years. You'll survive.
Oh.
But anyway, um, This this episode, we're mainly going to be talking about what we think is going to be happening over the next few months in the 2025 season. We're going to start with the AFC predictions, and then we'll hop over to the NFC. So, Jake, actually, before I meant to say this, this is on me. Sorry. Due to scheduling conflicts, Krista's not here tonight, but she will be back next week. Do not worry. So we didn't accidentally forget to put her screen up or something like that. Not that that's happened before. Um,
Well,
She's suited up ready to
sometimes,
take over for Drake May just in case.
yeah, exactly. So Krista will be back next week, and you should go to social media and tell her that you missed her. But now, Jake, do you want to get started with your AFC predictions?
Yeah. Do we want to go division by division, or you want me to run through the whole gamut?
Let's do division by
yeah,
division. I
I
love
like
I
division
love
by
being able
division.
to dive in a little bit more.
Okay, so let's start with the AFC North. And to me, there's one clear winner in that division, and it's the Baltimore Ravens. They are just a tier above everybody else. Their defense is insane. Lamar is Lamar. They've got, if DeAndre Hopkins, even in his past his prime as a wide receiver 3 or 4 on that team, they are stacked. Zay Flowers looks fantastic. Their whole offense is just so creative. John Harbaugh is just a great coach. And, you compare it to the rest of the division. The Bengals didn't really address their defense. The only thing they did was make sure they keep Trey Hendrickson around for 1 year. But the O-line still worries me that pretty boy Joe Burrow is going to get sacked a million times again this year. So that's my big concern with the Bengals.
Yep.
The Steelers, I don't know what to make of the Steelers. They confused the hell out of me. Aaron Rodgers is a quarterback. Why would you want Jalen Ramsey on your team? I get George Pickens was a locker room cancer, but I don't know. They weird me out. And then the Browns are
You
the
traded
Browns.
one.
They also brought in DK Metcalf. That's basically
It's
the same
basically
version.
George Pickens without the drama.
Well,
Based on the preseason, who knows?
yeah.
But then the Browns
True.
are the Browns. The Browns are just going to crap their pants all over the division. They're going to be terrible. So Baltimore, easy victors.
Yeah. I also
think,
have Baltimore.
yeah, we have a clean sweep there. I mean, agree with everything that you said. I just, it's kind of like the meme where it's the three Hydra heads and
Yeah.
the one's like goofy at the end,
Mm-hmm.
except for the entire division's goofy, and it's just the Ravens.
Yeah.
I feel like the Ravens are the only ones that are really showing up in that division. And I
Yeah.
feel like part of it also is because the Ravens are so good that it kind of makes the rest of them look silly. Like if you put those three teams against pretty much any NFC team, they're going to be pretty solid, especially like Steelers and Bengals. Like, I mean, Bengals went toe to toe with the uh, uh one of the NFC champions, last year, right? In the
Mhm.
Commanders, right? And to the rest of the division and the rest of the AFC, they just look silly. So I think they all suffer from being in a really good division, but they also all suck except for the Ravens. I
Pretty
also
much.
I made a comment about this in our Taylor Swift songs as um like what era you're well, I can't this is really bad. We're only like a few minutes in and I already can't talk.
It's fine. It's fine.
I made a comment about how the Ravens, I feel like they just get overlooked because of how effortlessly they make everything. Um, like Lamar is superhuman and he does pretty much everything that Josh Allen does, but Josh Allen is doing it when everyone else on his team just looks like they're barely showing up for games.
Hmm.
And so Lamar just, he doesn't look as impressive by comparison because everyone on that team is the absolute best at their position. And yeah, he
This
should
is
get
such
more
a
credit.
make or break it season for me for Lamar. Like the regular season is a warm up. At what point are they the '90s Bills where they just continually cannot get over the hump with
Yeah.
an extremely talented roster? This is a huge year for him and for the team as a whole for me.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah. I think they're one of 3 teams that I have labeled as like Super Bowl or bust.
I
That's
probably
about
don't
right.
want to know. I probably don't want to know what one of the other ones is.
And I'll say it's two AFC and an NFC.
Yeah. Anyway, let's move on to the South. I feel that the conversation is going to end up being pretty similar for the next two divisions just because I think we're
Yeah.
all in consensus. But for the South, we all have the Texans.
Yeah.
And I think this is kind of the exact opposite of what I was just saying for the Ravens, of everyone in this division needs a lot of help.
Mhm.
But I think that Houston's defense is going to save them and give them the not the conference title.
That'd
Dear
be
Lord,
something.
they are not
Could
winning
you
that
imagine?
conference, the division title. And yeah, I think D'Amico Ryans is an excellent coach. I think CJ Stroud is an excellent quarterback, but I think that the moves that they made in the offseason made their offensive line worse.
Yeah, I agree.
Mhm.
And so I don't, and I mean, can they keep a receiver healthy? But by comparison, you look at, I mean, the Colts went through a quarterback search, and the best they could find was Daniel Jones. So I think that tells you everything you need to know about them. And I don't, yeah, Jacksonville, I think the whole like we
I
moved
think,
on past the
yeah.
Duval
Uh-huh.
way too fast because I think that that's just a summary of how everything's going to go. Like running back by committee, like everything about it has just been horrific.
I will say if Travis Hunter stays healthy this season for them, even if they like do
That's
poorly,
true.
I still think like they at least have something to build on, and maybe next year we'll be having a different conversation. But this year, no, I don't think Jacksonville will do anything.
It's so incumbent on the Jaguars for Travis Hunter and Trevor Lawrence to develop chemistry immediately.
Yep.
Like this has to be spot on. Otherwise, it's such a failure of a pick. And that's not on Travis Hunter because he's super talented.
Yeah.
The failure of the pick is Trevor Lawrence, who is supposed to be the next Peyton Manning and has shown barely a flash of potential in the NFL. Like I feel so bad for him
Yeah.
because he was such a prodigy coming out of Clemson and it hasn't translated. So
Mhm.
hopefully Liam Cohen can figure out the offense and get them going because the offense is the problem. The defense to me is decent. You know, it's not like Saxonville of like 7 or 8 years ago, but to me, their defense is intriguing enough to where I almost considered it, but the Texans are just too good. Even if their wideout room is basically Nico Collins and company. You know, Christian Kirk, I guess, is fine, but there's not much else that like excites me about their wide receiver room. And then the running back situation even weirds me out. Joe Mixon's out for 4 games. I guess
Yeah,
it's
what on earth
Nick
is...
Chubb going to be healthy.
Who knows?
It's a weird division. Like, if everything goes right, it's clearly the Texans division, but there are so many things that could go wrong with all 4 of these teams that I don't know what could happen.
Yeah, I was going to say the Titans, I feel like, are being very disrespected. Like, yes, they are not a good team, but they're not like 2016, 2017 Cleveland Browns bad.
Right.
And I feel
I was surprised.
Yeah, I feel like if Cam Ward plays like a number 1 overall pick, they could make some noise. I don't foresee that happening. But
yeah,
I could see them finishing second in the division.
Yeah, like if they come out here and he plays like Jaden Daniels last year, then yeah, sure, you know. Yeah. But that's no offense, Cam Ward, that's not going to happen.
Yeah, so I guess that division is kind of just bleak, and I think kind of just the worst division in the NFL.
Well, I think once we get to the NFC, there are worse divisions. I think in the AFC, it probably is the worst division, but oh god, just wait till we get to the NFC.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So I think we're also in consensus about the AFC East.
Yeah, we are.
We got Pookie Bear Josh leading the Bills. I think that's another division that like is just dominated by one team. Because the Jets are gonna jet. I hope Justin Field does good, but I don't think he's going to. The Patriots, I don't know. I'm losing hope for them. I'm not gonna lie.
Really?
Yeah. If they had not released
Jabril Peppers.
Jabril Peppers, I might have had more hope. And also, I don't know. I don't think that was an official depth chart, but I did see that Travion Henderson was listed RB3, and that
doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, it doesn't make any sense to me either.
I think that will likely change.
I hope it does.
It's a Ja'Cory Krosky merit situation.
Yeah,
that's fair. But yeah, and then there's the Dolphins with a concussion monster as their quarterback.
The Dolphins, ready? The Dolphins are going to end up at last. The Dolphins are going to have a worse season than the Jets, is my opinion.
That's a hot take, but I agree.
Yeah, I was going to say the only other team I could see that's worse than the Dolphins are the Saints, maybe.
But they're not in the same division, right?
Oh, no, we're talking about
we're talking about overall performance. Yeah, I think the Dolphins are going to be a miserable team to watch this year. I guarantee you, within the first 4 weeks, there's going to be some injury to Tua that we're all going to say, "Why is Tua playing football anymore?" He's going to be out for at least 5 weeks, and then they're going to be floundering. It's Tyreek Hill and company, and that's just a locker room cancer mixed with a bunch of scrubs, and it's going to turn into epic frustration of like Antonio Brown level worthies of performance. So I think they're in for a really dramatically bad year. I think the Jets, I think Aaron Glenn will get that first year coaching boost, but it's definitely not going to be enough, especially because Elijah Verily Tucker or something like that. Vera Tucker. He's out. He just had a season-ending injury.
Yeah,
the guard, I think.
Exactly. So Elijah Vera Tucker. So that doesn't help their offensive line at all. So Fields is going to get slammed. The Patriots are a weird team for me. And everyone can see if you're watching on YouTube or on socials, I'm repping my Patriots jersey here. It is still a Mac Jones jersey. I need to change that. But look, Drake May, this is the year he's supposed to take a humongous step forward. And if he does, the Patriots can go far. I think the wide receiver room, while it's still a lot of guys who I have questions about catching the ball, it's definitely better than it was last year. We just talked about the running backs. if Ramondre Stevenson and Travion Henderson can be a two-headed monster, that would be awesome. We did talk about Jabril Peppers too. That cut was really weird, but the defense is still primed to be really good. I think they're going to be a shocker. Look, they're not going to be 13-5 or 4. They'll hopefully be 9-8, and we'll talk about the wild cards in a little bit. But if they go 9-8, I'd be really happy with that year. I think that's huge improvement. There's a better system under Vrabel. Josh McDaniels is back. I think he's such a snake for the amount of teams he's gone back and forth on and ended up back in New England. It's hysterical, and I love that he's a great offensive coordinator solely for the Patriots. But I think it's total snake oil for me with him. But regardless, I think the Patriots have an interesting year. But it's the Bills division. There's no question about it. And again, same pressure that Lamar Jackson has. When do the Bills take that next step? Can they get over their red and yellow colored demon that is the Kansas City Chiefs?
Yeah, and the Bills are my second Super Bowl or bust this season.
There you go.
Yeah.
Yeah, I knew that, but you didn't have to say that.
Yeah. I think.
Wait, you got any more thoughts on the East?
I do, but now I can go first.
I was gonna start moving to the West, so you're good.
Oh, okay. I will cry if we lose to the Chiefs again in this playoffs. It's not even going to be like the 1 or 2 tears that have happened in years past. It's not going to be the shock that was a 13-second game. It's not going to be any of that. I will be ugly crying for the next 5 months if we lose again in the playoffs to the Chiefs. For the love of God, oh my God. I will say, I don't think any of the moves that we have made in the offseason have been good. Brandon Beane has 7 phone numbers and he just keeps calling the same ones. I don't think he realizes that he's supposed to go find new talent and, bring in people to help Josh Allen, because all he's doing is just I don't know, it's vibes based drafting, and the vibes are based off of how funny you are, or maybe what women you assaulted. Maybe we should do our homework, Bills. I'm just saying, Brandon Beane, you basic, and you need to do a better job, because I'm pretty sure Bill Belichick made better picks than you have. And that should be really embarrassing. Listen, I mean, if you look at it's so painful.
Yeah.
But if you look at who was the next pick, I think Keon Coleman was right.
McConkey.
Yeah, Keon Coleman was the pick right before Lad McConkey. Oh my God. And, there's just been so many picks like that where it's very clear we're not great at sussing out talent. No offense to the people on the Bills. You just aren't great. But then beyond that, can someone please fire Sean McDermott? I cannot handle one more year of he's supposed to be a defensive coordinator. He's supposed to be a defensive genius, and our defense is always the part that falls apart. Don't get me wrong, our offense could use I don't know, people who could catch the freaking ball, but the defense is the one who always clearly I'm getting very passionate about this, but I don't think the moves we've made in the offseason help. I do think we'll still make the playoffs. I do think we're still going to dominate this division. But it's all going to be on Josh Allen. The way it has been for the past 6 years, it's going to be Josh and Josh's show alone. And I can't wait for us to lose in the playoffs on a Tyler Bass missed field goal. That's what's going to happen. But I will say, for the rest of the division, the Patriots, I think they're going to be much better. Like you were saying, Vrabel is Vrabel, and I think he's going to pull together the team. I mean, even in preseason, they looked so much more cohesive, so much more together. They were a proper team again. Um, and I just don't think that there's been enough time and enough, additional players added to really take down the Bills. I think probably next year we'll be in trouble. Um, so Sean McDermott and Brandon Beane, get your shit together. Um, and then Miami. No, Miami. Like I don't know what you're doing. Like somehow you just
They
keep
don't
getting
either.
worse every year. Like I feel like you're just, you know, I feel like there's just like some big war going around, everyone's fighting, taking things serious, and you're just over here like the little TikTok song, like I'm spinning like a ballerina, and you guys are just like spinning around. Like, what are they even doing? I don't know. Um, and yeah, Jets, I agree with what you said. Like, I think they're going to do better than the Dolphins. I think that bar's really low, but I don't think that they're going to, you know, magically become not the Jets.
Yeah. Going back to your point about how Sean McDermott is a defensive coach, the Bills have not exactly helped him either. I pulled up this year's draft, and right after their pick, at pick 30, they picked Maxwell Hairston out of Kentucky. He's a cornerback. Right after him went Jihad Campbell, who went to the Eagles. And that Eagles defense is already super stacked, and Jihad Campbell's already running with the first team. Like, imagine what a linebacker of that caliber could do to a defense that's floundering like the Bills.
And I don't understand.
Missing by one pick, that, it irks me because I love Josh Allen. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, or even trade up and get, like, Malachi Starks because he went to the Ravens. The Ravens don't really need a safety, but he's just going to sit there and then all of a sudden, like, develop into a superstar.
I also feel like the secondary is a part of our stronger part of our defense. Not that there's really a strong part of our defense, but I feel like our secondary is a little bit better. Our edge rusher, Joey Bosa, like
Von Miller last year.
I'm sorry, what? Can't wait until he stubs his toe and is out for 14 weeks. Like, what are we doing? Sorry, we need to move on.
No, this is good. Get it out. No, this is great. But that's my point. Like, Jihad Campbell, and I know he's from Alabama, and everybody's going to be like, oh, no, it's just glazing an Alabama player. No, like, even Malachi Starks, who, like, he's somebody that you can move around on defense to fill multiple roles. Like, yes, he's primarily safety, but you can move him to corner. You can move him to linebacker. You can stack him in the box to stop the run. Like, he's a unicorn on defense. Like, that's the type of players that I feel like the Bills need to be focusing on.
Yeah.
Anyways.
We got the West. This is our first little bit of controversy here.
I want to say, I'm so glad that we all picked the Bills and then just slowly shit on the Bills for like 15 minutes. We're like, here's why they suck. Also, they're going to dominate the division, but they suck. Yeah.
Yeah. Our first discourse division. Well, okay, not as discourseful, actually.
It's just one. I will say, okay, I originally was going to pick the Broncos as well. But then Tristan talked me out of it the other day. And I was like, oh, yeah, no. And I was like, right, I definitely wasn't about to pick the Broncos. So I have the Chiefs, just because as much as I want to say that they won't win the division, and as much as I want to say that this will finally be the year that everything catches up with them, I'm not going to be the person who says that the Chiefs aren't going to make the playoffs. Like, I will believe it when I see it, but I have seen so much like Mahomes magic and them pulling off impossible wins, and and destroying my hopes and dreams, that I'm not going to count them out, and I'm not going to say they're not going to win until they don't.
Yeah, I agree. And I also originally had the Broncos, and then also Tristan was talking, but I remember I was somewhere between like 8 to 12, and my grandpa is a Colts fan. So this is when Peyton Manning was there, and I made a bet with him that the Colts would beat the Patriots in one of the AFC title games in the playoffs. And he was like, "Are you sure about that? I don't know that you want to be betting against Tom Brady." I was like, "No, I'm for sure. Look at the numbers. They're favored by like 2 touchdowns." And I you can't see that. I have a framed signed picture of Peyton Manning with the check that I paid him laminated on the background because I lost the bet. So that just reminded me, don't bet against the teams that just get it done no matter what.
The
So
dynasties,
the
like, you can't count them
dynasties.
out.
So I'm sticking with the Chiefs until they're, well, not dynastying anymore.
Until someone decapitates them. Yeah, I'll let Jake talk about the Broncos, but to hit on the other two quickly, like, the Raiders definitely think that Pete Carroll is an improvement. Geno Smith is an improvement. I think there are so many improvements to this team. I think that they're actually going to win games this year and might actually, cause some commotion. I don't think that there's going to be enough to dethrone the Chiefs, and I definitely don't think that there's enough to beat both the Chiefs and the Broncos. But I will say, in a couple years, they might be worth, looking at. And Chargers, I love the Chargers. I love the Chargers so much, but they don't have a single receiver who can catch the ball. And
Lad?
Oh, I forgot about him.
It's Lad Company.
Man.
I think on like 15 of my fantasy teams too. Like, okay, other than Lad, who they will all triple cover because there is no one else on the team that can catch the ball. They don't have anyone who can catch the ball. So
they're going to be very dependent on their run game between Omarion Hampton and a one-eyed Najee Harris.
Oh my God. Yeah.
Yeah, but what O-line? They have Joe Alt, and that's about it.
Yeah. Who was their guard who is out for the season? He tore his ACL or something?
Rashawn Slater?
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
The only other decent O-lineman. Yeah.
Okay. Here we go. I think that the question marks surrounding the Chiefs are bigger than the question marks surrounding the Broncos. And that's why I have the Broncos. It's going to be literally by a game. It's going to be neck and neck. But I think the Broncos just edge it out. I think Bo Nix is primed to take a step forward at quarterback. I think he's primed to avoid a sophomore slump. I think that they have a little bit more balanced offense. I think their defense is fantastic. Adding in Dre Greenlaw, Talanoa Hufanga was great for them. I love the J.K. Dobbins, R.J. Harvey two-headed running back combo there. That's the question mark. If Harvey has the potential to be great in the NFL and if Dobbins can stay healthy, then I think they're primed to have a really interesting offense. Their wide receivers are actually decent. I don't know. I'm a little higher on what the Broncos bring to the table than the Chiefs. I think the Chiefs are finally due for a little bit of regression. It happened to the Patriots dynasty as well. If you look in the early 2010s, they had that regression where they were a great team, but not a Super Bowl echelon team.
Yeah.
Can Isaiah Pacheco stay healthy? Can Elijah Mitchell stay healthy? Can Hollywood Brown actually show up as a wide receiver too? Are you using Tyquan Thornton at all? Is Rashee Rice going to actually play this year? Is Juju Smith actually going to play and stay healthy this year and be an effective wide receiver? This is Travis Kelce's last ride, ostensibly. So is he going to have that last season bump and have an awesome year? Or is he going to regress and, be distracted by the bright lights of his wedding, And that's not a bad thing. It's great for him that he's got so many awesome things going on in his life. It's just I don't know how that affects the rest of the team. Harrison Butker wasn't Harrison Butker last year. There's just a lot. To me, there's just enough question marks and enough regression on this team to where I think that the Broncos have just enough to eke it out. And then the Chiefs will somehow work their black voodoo magic with the refs in the playoffs because they're the Chiefs, and it'll work out somehow. But
so I do have a question.
Yeah.
So all of the things that you mentioned, all those injuries, everything, I completely agree. But last year they all happened and they ended up in the Super Bowl and they almost had a perfect season. What's the difference between that last year and this upcoming year where, going into it, at least they're all healthy. And potentially they could stay healthy, but pretty much everything that could go wrong in terms of injuries, besides Patrick Mahomes and Travis Kelce, went wrong last year. And they still ended up in the Super Bowl. Granted, they should not have been in the Super Bowl because that was awful, but, that aside.
Well, they got what they deserved.
I think I genuinely think there's going to be enough regression. I think that sometimes these guys have now been in a system with Andy Reid for so long, and you get so comfortable. It's not going to be you're not going to be able to ride it anymore. And I think that Mahomes is going to have to scramble way more than he did last year, and it's going to cause some commotion.
I would be so happy to see it, but as someone who has watched many Bills games, thinking we could win.
Yeah.
Leighton knows all too well.
That's true. But that puts us in our wildcard situation already because I had the Chiefs as wildcard 1. Like, again, I said it's going to be neck and neck, and both the Broncos and the Chiefs are going to be really good. So I think for the wildcard, we should just say our 3 wildcards, and then we can run off from there.
Yeah. I have Broncos, so we just swapped. Yep. Broncos, Patriots, Steelers. Mainly Steelers just for tradition. They're gonna go 9-8, and they're gonna lose in the wild card round. I think Patriots. We talked about that already. I think they're really solid, and I think those are going to be the 3 wild cards.
Yeah, I also have the Broncos, and then I have the Bengals and Chargers.
With what defense?
I think Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase are just going to will this team to a playoff spot. And then they're just going to get pummeled because there's going to be an actual elite defense waiting for them. And I think the Chargers run game, in spite of missing Rashawn Slater, we've seen what Harbaugh did at Michigan, even though he cheated. That's neither here nor there, though. His teams were always about defense and running the ball down their throat. So even though he's down, you know what? I said what I said, and I stand by it because that is a good football philosophy. Run them into the ground and pound the ball down their throat. And I think that's what the Chargers are going to do, and I think it's going to get them the wild card 3 spot.
Okay, 33 minutes and change. Okay, clip that for social. Like that's going to be our first social post immediately. Look, I've got the Chargers 2 as my wild card 2, and I have the Patriots as my wild card 3. And this isn't to say that any of them are good enough to deserve being in the playoffs. This is because all the competition around them is going to be so terrible. Yeah. Those 2 teams will just end up falling ass backwards into the playoffs. Yeah. That's why. They'll get pummeled by whoever they face, but
I was gonna say,
it'll be a great learning experience for the Patriots and something reinvigorating for the region. And the Chargers, it'll save Jim Harbaugh's ass for another year.
Yeah, I think at least one, if not 2, of the AFC wildcard teams will have losing records. Or that's not far off.
Ooh.
Yeah.
We should write that down so that when none of them do, we can be like, I told you so.
Blamed.
Yeah.
I feel like we were remiss to not talk a little bit about the Steelers before we move on to the NFC. But
no, come on. Tradition is tradition, guys.
Mike Tomlin has that. I can't be racist and say black magic, but he has like black devil magic in him, and just like he's never had a losing season in Pittsburgh. I don't know where the fuck he wills this from.
No, either. Like what on earth?
Okay, hear me out. This is the perfect story. That this is how it's going to happen. Week 6, Aaron Rodgers is going to pop his other Achilles. Will Howard is going to come in and just dominate.
I think a lot of Steelers fans would be thrilled to hear that.
You know, it would be even better. First drive of the game.
Imagine.
First drive, first game. The other one goes out.
Just for the record,
they'll probably
I don't wish injury about anybody, but that just would be poetic.
Yeah, it's okay. He would be fine with it. He would just. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's tradition at this point. Yeah. They're going to get a wild card spot at 9 and 8, and I think it's like the Chiefs. I will stop believing it when I see it happen.
Yeah.
Otherwise, I'm going to say the Steelers are going to make it. But talking about teams that suck and getting into the playoffs when you shouldn't, let's talk about the NFC. I think we all...
What the hell?
I think we all can agree that the NFC might be a little bit less dominant, but...
I disagree.
There's a lot of parity.
Yes, I disagree.
All right.
I think the AFC has better offenses and QBs, but I think the NFC has more complete teams.
I think the NFC wildcard race is going to be insane because there's easily 6 or 7 teams that could grab any of those 3 spots.
Well, I agree, but I agree because I think that they're all going to be playing poorly, and none of them really deserve the NFC. So anyway,
let's start. Let's go same divisions. Let's start up north.
Yep. Let's start.
Leighton and I each have the Detroit Lions, and Noah has the Packers. Yeah. I came so close to putting the Packers as the division winners. I just think that the offense of the Detroit Lions is poised to take that next step. Even losing Ben Johnson to Chicago, I think Jared Goff has phenomenal. These are some of the best weapons he's had in his entire career. Between Sam Laporta at tight end, Amon-Ra St. Brown and Jameson Williams at wideout, Sonic and Knuckles at running back. I think they are poised to have a flash of an offense, and I think it's going to be just enough to get them over the hump.
I agree. I see. The thing is I just don't think that there's enough stability in the Green Bay wide receiver room to really elevate Jordan Love. I think that for once the Packers didn't draft a Hall of Famer. He's still good. He's just not. He's not enough to overcome.
Yeah, Matt Golden is a really interesting pick. It's just not like screaming, "I'm a wide receiver 2 right now."
Yeah, I think probably in the next couple years, he's going to develop, but I don't think he's someone who can come in their rookie year and be like Lad or something like that, who I definitely never forgot. I think it will be close, but I think that the Lions just have that extra fighting spirit that's going to get them.
The extra bite of the kneecap.
Yeah, so they can lose in the playoffs to the Commanders again.
I also think in regards to the Packers, first year Jordan Love was off the charts. Second year Jordan Love hit a sophomore slump. Real Jordan Love is somewhere in between. And it's bang average, which is fine. They've got Josh Jacobs, who's a really good running back. It's just not going to be enough to create a fully fledged offense. I think Matt LaFleur is going to end up really frustrated for quite a few games.
Yeah. I like seeing a flustered Matt LaFleur, though. Oh. Just had to put that out there. See, Noah's reacting like this as if he's not the one sending me the edits on TikTok with the caption "smash."
Listen, some of these coaches, man.
Yeah.
Stay tuned next week. MFK head coaches.
Marcus
Anyways,
Freeman, smash.
yeah,
Discussion.
I will admit I'm just buying fully into the Green Bay Packers hype. I saw a lot of people predicting them in the Super Bowl before the Micah Parsons trade, and I was like, what in the world? Maybe okay, no, I don't think so. And then they traded for Micah Parsons, and I was like, okay, maybe still not quite Super Bowl, but at least deep playoff run. And I think I do agree. Jordan Love is not not necessarily the franchise game changer that maybe prime Aaron Rodgers was, but I do think he's a good system quarterback, and when he's injury free, I think he can do really well. As long as his receivers keep all their ligaments intact.
Yeah.
That I think that is the big hinge point for me, and I am just taking the blind leap of faith that everything is going to stay healthy and their offense is going to actually hit a striving point after basically just handing Josh Jacobs the ball and saying, go.
Yeah.
And yeah, I don't know, something about the Lions. I love the Lions. They have so many Alabama players. I love Dan Campbell. Dan Campbell is such a phenomenal coach. I love his mentality. But something about them just makes me wary of them this year. And yeah, I think that's why the Packers will eke them out.
Yeah. I mean, I could see it going either way. I think the Lightens, yep. I think the Lightens just have a little bit more of a. I literally
That's your
combined
own name.
Lions and
You
my
know those
own.
TikToks of like the boyfriends quizzing their girlfriends on the NFL logos? They're now just the Detroit Lightens.
Like, yeah. Well, the Lightens, I think they're going to do really great this year. So, but just to touch on the two other teams in the division, I think that the Vikings. I mean, I just don't see JJ McCarthy elevating them to get them over that hump. And well, the Bears are the Bears, and I don't think that Ben Johnson is going to change that.
See, I think the Bears are going to be okay. And frankly, that's all the Bears deserve right now.
Yeah, agreed. Yeah. They're going to be great for the Bears, but they're just still going to be the Bears.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, okay, so the South, we're all unanimous on this one.
Yeah.
Tampa Bay. I would be very surprised if actually just go ahead. We can just go ahead and clip this one, keep this one. I would be so shocked if anyone but the Bucs won the NFC South. There's just really no competition. So we can just go ahead and clip that for socials when the Bucs get fourth in their division. But yeah, no, I think they're so much more solid of a team. I think Baker Mayfield just has, that oomph. I think that their wide receiver room is excellent. I think that, I think they're just solid. And I don't think any of the other teams in the division are. And I don't think any of the other teams in the division even have a shining part of their team. They're mostly in their Well, okay, Atlanta, whatever, Atlanta has Kyle Pitts, so I shouldn't discount them. But
and Bijan, it's Bijan and company though. It's so dependent on how Michael Penix does because they really threw him in to be the starter there.
I want to clarify before we go any further. Kyle Pitts was a joke. That was not me seriously saying that Kyle Pitts was a force to be reckoned with.
Oh my god.
Don't listen.
Okay, so the Bucs. Baker Mayfield, bang average quarterback, gonna get you what you need. Bucky Irving, I think he's an interesting wide receiver. If Mike Evans can be great, awesome. But Emeka Egbuka, I think, was such a steal in the draft. And I think he eventually is like the heir apparent to Mike Evans. And he is going to carry these guys so far. Because Todd Bowles, again, bang average coach. That's so sad to say that bang average, and I know I'm going to repeat this so many times about this division. Bang average is all you need to win the NFC South. That is it. That is so bad to say because they are going to, again, they'll go 9-8 and they'll be a division winner, and they will be the worst division winner in the NFL. The Falcons, Bijan is going to have to run like a mother effer to do that. The Panthers, this is again a different perspective from Lamar and Josh Allen, but it's a big year for Bryce Young. Can he actually take the step forward and be an NFL quarterback, or is he going to be a humongous bust? The Saints, what is going on in New Orleans?
What in the dumpster fire?
Spencer Rattler is your QB1 and Tyler Shuck is your QB2? What are you doing? You could have kept famous Jameis and had at least a decent season. Wow, they are going to be so bad this year. They're going to be awful.
Yeah.
The Superdome will not be a fun place to be. So, by default, it has to be the Bucs.
Yeah. Huge shout out to Dave Canales and his biceps, though. We'll be watching a lot of Panthers games.
You're welcome.
No.
I'm just kidding.
For those of us not watching on YouTube, Noah is emphatically agreeing. Yeah, so let's move on to the NFC East, where we all unanimously picked the Commanders. None of us thought about the Eagles at all.
Actually, Leighton put whatever. She didn't actually pick a team.
Yeah.
I refuse to put the Eagles on there, okay? Whatever. The Eagles might be a good team. You didn't even spell Eagles right, Noah. Oh my God.
Yeah, I did. That's Eagles.
Now they're Eagles.
Hey, if you're from Philly, that's how it's pronounced. They're the Eagles.
They're the Eagles. Anyway, I hate having to say this. Howie is a great GM. He makes moves every single offseason that somehow strengthen an already good team. I mean, Jalen Hurts is so underrated just because of the amount of talent around him. I mean, Saquon is, yeah. I mean, like you could go on and on and on and talk about every single position, and they have people that are one or two in their position, and yeah, no one's dethroning them anytime soon.
Mm-hmm.
Someone else, please talk.
No, yeah.
I will have to keep talking about the Eagles.
For our NHL fans listening, the Eagles GM is essentially the equivalent of Bill Zito for the Florida Panthers right now.
Pretty much.
I would say those teams are synonymous right now, and a lot of people just don't see them slowing down, including me. Like, what are you going to do with a team that, like, most of their starters are still under, like, 26, too? Like, I think their oldest player is 30, and I think that might be Dallas Goedert. Oh, let me fact check that. Oh, Lane Johnson.
Okay.
I forgot about Lane Johnson. My bad.
Cool. We can just see the tears welling up in my eyes. Yeah, cool. Great.
But outside of Lane Johnson, who's 35, there are only 2 players who are 30. Everybody else is like 27 or younger.
It's a phenomenally young team.
Yeah.
It's, again, so dependent on Nick Sirianni not being a dud. I still don't know if he's a good coach. I don't
think he is.
No,
but they're uber talented. We didn't even get to talk about my favorite guy, Cooper DeJean is not a safety. Like, he's just incredible.
Yeah.
So their defense is stacked from top to bottom, and Howie is a magician who knows how to cut the fat from that team so well. It's hard not to see them winning.
Yeah. But let's talk about NFC East teams that suck, because this will make me happy again.
Cowboys! Sorry, there's something in my throat there.
Cowboys.
What the hell is Jerry Jones doing? Like, this is even a new low for him.
Yeah.
Like, I think everyone has probably seen the memes at this point of how Madden wouldn't even accept that trade because it's so ridiculous for Micah Parsons. I mean, it's just absolutely nothing about the team is going well, except Brandon Aubrey fantasy stock is going up because they're not gonna score any touchdowns. Yeah, that's pretty
Or they're
much the
just
only.
not going to score.
Well, don't worry, Brandon Aubrey can hit it from like 70, so they're fine. I mean, and I think the Giants as well, are gonna, well, they're still gonna be the Giants. I do think they are gonna improve, and I think we're gonna probably see Jackson Dart somewhere in the year, and I think that that's going to be a good move for them. I just don't think that they're there yet. Um, and the Commanders, I do have them making the playoffs, but I don't think they will have
Spoiler
enough
alert.
to dethrone them.
Who's a worse GM in Dallas, Jerry Jones or Nico Harrison? Because they both made generationally awful trades in the last 12 months.
And
I'm
the
gonna
crazy
say
thing is
Jerry
they're
Jones just because at
ooh.
one point he was good, so he knows how to. Nico Harrison maybe just, you know, he doesn't have the right brain cells for it.
I think Jerry put himself in the worst position possible this year because of Brian Schottenheimer. That he
Yeah,
didn't
what the
get an
hell?
established NFL head coach. He got himself a puppet who's going to listen to whatever plays he wants to call from the owner's box, and it's all on him. I mean, it's never not all on him, but for the last couple of years, it's been so easy to blame Mike McCarthy for things. This is all Jerry Land now. And right now,
Yeah,
it's as broken as, like, Coney Island in the winter. It's just so bad.
yeah.
The Giants, yeah, I guess they got better. Like a good neighbor, maybe he'll make a catch if he has a good quarterback. I don't know.
That was
Giants country, let's ride.
And we'll get to the Commanders in a little bit, as far as playoff hopes go.
The oldest team in the league.
so okay. So the next one, NFC least. I mean, what is that word?
Jeez, I thought you said Weast.
Poor Jake is gonna have such a hard time editing this episode because there's gonna be so much to edit out. Um, we actually all have different picks, and I think this is the only
This
one
is
that we have
fun.
all
Oh
different
wow.
picks.
Yeah.
I have the Rams, and I want to say for the record, Krista also had the Rams, so clearly that's the right pick. I don't
I
think
also want to say
anyone.
Krista had the Packers as well. Shout out Krista. You're amazing.
We miss you. Listen, I think that Sean McVay is one of the best coaches in the NFL. I think he's criminally underrated. I think he manages to make magic out of nothing every single year. Um, I don't really believe in Matt Stafford's back, um, but they have a really talented wide receiver group. Um, And I just don't think that there's anything else in the division that's enough. I think the Seahawks are still in a recovery year, and I do think they're going to get better, but I don't think that it's going to be enough. I think San Francisco regressed significantly in this offseason. And there's only so much that Christian McCaffrey's calves can handle. I just, who's the other team? Cardinals.
I forgot that you existed.
I forgot that you existed. Um, may or may not have done that intentionally so that you guys should go and watch our NFL teams as Taylor songs. We picked I Forgot That You Existed for the Cardinals because I keep forgetting that they existed. Um, yeah, I think that it's going to be close, and I don't think any of them are going to be particularly dominant, but I think the Rams are taking it.
No,
Also,
let's
I
go
hate the
to next. I need
49ers.
you to justify the Seahawks.
I think people are writing off this young team. I think Mike McDonald's defense is gonna work nightmares on the division and just in general. Last year was just a disaster. I also think we got the piece that we needed for the offensive line in Gray Zabel. that fire was missing so much last season, where all of a sudden you have all 8 blitzers in the backfield devouring Geno Smith, and everybody wondered why he threw so many interceptions. But that's a topic for another day because not everybody's going to agree with that. Yeah, I also think Byron Murphy and Leonard Williams are primed for a good year. More so Byron Murphy. He's younger, and I think DeMarcus Lawrence is really going to help mentor him. I know DeMarcus Lawrence is older, but yeah, I really believe in our defense. I'm still iffy on the offense, but we'll see. But defense wins championships, so I believe in the defense, and I believe the defense will win us the division.
Sam Darnold, though? Really? You have faith in that?
I don't think he has faith that Sam Darnold is going to make it all the way through the season. He just has faith in his backup because his backup went to the Holy Land.
That's right.
There you go.
No, my whole argument is built on our defense. I think our defense is going to take a lot of people by surprise.
His whole argument is based off of the fact that the Seahawks are his favorite team.
Well, no.
Okay, right. Sure, we believe that. All right.
But Jake didn't get flack for picking his favorite team. No, I'm just kidding.
I picked them as a wild card and said they would fall ass backwards in the playoffs. I didn't pick them because I said they were going to be dramatically amazing. So good. I have so much faith.
Hey, clip this for later.
Wild card.
We'll come back to this, and I'll either eat my words
I don't
happily.
remember him picking the Patriots to win the division. I've forgotten in like 15 minutes what's happening. No. Okay, time out. I need to hear Jake's explanation for why he thinks the 49ers are going to win the division with the worst coach in football.
I think that Matthew Stafford's armor is going to absolutely fall off, and then you can't trust the Rams after that.
What about Jimmy G? What about the greatest thing to ever appear on a football field?
Jimmy G will then hurt his back because that is all Jimmy G does is play 3 games, have a lower back injury, and then not play the rest of the year. As a Patriots fan, he was a Patriot first. I am so used to the Jimmy G experience.
He also looks beautiful doing it. Who cares if he's injured? He's beautiful.
Just put him in a back brace.
I don't care. I don't care if he's just sitting on a bench and not scoring points. I want to see it.
I think that I don't trust the Rams as far as I can throw them with that. You know, Puka's great. Devontae's awesome. Tutu Atwell's interesting. Of course, they've got a running game in Kyren Williams. But is it like the most enthralling? Is Puka a one-season wonder? And can he really show off that he's an elite NFL wide receiver? I don't know. We're going to have to see. Otherwise, you're dealing with Stetson Bennett as your third-string QB, and you're hoping and praying. The Cardinals, you're right. Do they even exist? Kyler Murray, this is your make it or break it moment. You either go ham this year, or you become a journeyman quarterback, because he has never lived up to his potential in the NFL. He could have been an awesome Drew Brees type character, and just never, ever lived up to that. So... they've got Trey McBride, who finally scored a touchdown last year, and Trey McBride is an interesting piece. If Marvin Harrison can take a step forward, sure. If James Conner doesn't get hurt, it's not there. The pieces aren't completely there for me.
Yeah. No, there's nothing impressive with them.
And then the Seahawks, it's going to be an adjustment year for them. I completely agree with Leighton. They need to figure themselves out. Yeah, they've got some interesting pieces. I love Jackson Smith and Jigba. I think again, cutting the weight of DK Metcalf, Tyler Lockett, I think is really good for their offense. I hope Kenneth Walker can stay healthy, because I don't necessarily trust Zach Charbonnet as fully as an RB1. I think he's a great.
He did last year.
I think he's like just under the threshold for me. And that leaves the 49ers, who, they've got some injuries to start the year and some weird shit going on.
And they lost half of their defense, and they've got the worst coach, and They have no wide receivers.
But they're going to scam their way in. That's the way it's going to happen. Brock Purdy is going to find some magic. I think Ricky Pearsall is actually the X factor on the team. Look, George Kittle catches a bunch of touchdowns. I think Ricky Pearsall is finally going to get unlocked this year and be used well enough in the offense to make this team good enough. So, we'll see what happens when Isaac, they've got 3 decent running backs. McCaffrey, if he's healthy, is one of the best. And then Brian Robinson and Isaac Guerrero behind him. Super interesting.
Okay, but Brian Robinson couldn't even secure a spot on Washington. And we think he's going to dominate on the 49ers?
I think he'll end up being more of a pass-catching wideout. I think he's not a bell cow, but I think he'll be put in a much more appropriate role. If McCaffrey gets hurt, then they're screwed, but I'm banking, hopefully, on McCaffrey not getting hurt this year. I hope. There's a lot of I hope on that. There's a lot of I hope in that division. It's such a screwy division, which is why I think it's awesome that the 3 of us each picked someone different and no one picked the Cardinals.
Yeah, I was going to say, the poor Cardinals.
I will just always be a Kyle Shanahan hater, so I will never be someone who picks the 49ers, but whatever. They're fine, I guess. So let's talk about better teams. The Washington Commanders. My 3 wildcard picks are going to be Washington, the Lions, which I just realized that means I picked the Lions twice. So I think what I meant there was Green Bay. Washington, Green Bay, and the Seahawks. But honestly, I really struggled with that last pick because once you get past, like Washington and the Cheeseheads, then I think it really is a toss-up. I mean, it could be anyone, and there's a lot of teams that could sneak in. So I'm going to pick the Seahawks, but honestly, it could be anyone. It could even be the Cardinals. JK, it could never be the Cardinals.
Unless Kyler Murray plays like he did his Heisman season, which I don't think he can anymore because he tore his ACL.
Yeah, he doesn't have a knee.
Yeah. But my 3 wild cards, I have the Lions, the Rams, and then I have the Falcons sneaking in.
Geez, I wonder why.
Because I have faith in.
And some people went to Alabama, and they're his second favorite team.
Wait, who in the Falcons went to Alabama?
I have no clue, but I'm assuming that there is someone since you like them.
No, I just like Michael Penix and Bijan.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Didn't Bijan go to Alabama?
He went to Texas.
Cool. Yeah, there's like 0 knowledge in my head right now.
I just love how you wrote the Packers on your sheet here because the only thing I can think of is the James May meme that's just like crunchy, like heavy bass audio of cheese. That's all I can think of.
You're welcome.
I got the Rams. Again, they could easily be division winners and the 49ers sneak in there. That's fine by me, but I've got the Rams as wild card 1. The Packers as wildcard 2 and the Commanders as wildcard 3.
Yeah, I mean, I don't disagree.
I just realized
I think that's solid.
Krista and I are the 2 that have Washington missing.
Yeah. Yeah. Do you want to defend yourself there?
I just don't. I think age is going to catch up with the Commanders. I think Jaden's going to have a phenomenal year. But I think the age of the defense is just going to catch up. I think the Commanders are just going to be like the Bengals of the NFC.
That might be valid, but I reject that. Even though my football brain says yes, that's valid, I am just a Washington fan that is being led out of the desert. We finally can support this team after like 30 years. So, you know what? No, we're winning the Super Bowl. It's going to be my worst nightmare. It's going to be Commanders versus Bills. And I'm
Whoa.
just going to cry the entire evening.
If it is, you got to get a custom jersey that's split down the middle.
Nice.
I think so. Yeah. It almost
I can't
happened
really
last
not
year.
putting the Commanders either. If they didn't have Scary Terry, I would have flipped them with someone else. But I think that having Terry there is tremendously helpful to their offense. Yeah. And hopefully Corey Krosky-Merritt actually shows off the potential that we all think he has and takes over the RB1 from Austin Eckler.
Yeah, I really hope so. But anyway, tell us about all of your hopes and dreams for your team. Tell us who you think is going to win all the divisions, even if they're not your team. We can't wait to see what you guys pick. We can't wait to see what actually happens. The day is finally here. I mean, it's almost midnight, so it's practically football season again. In the words of Taylor Swift, 'tis the damn season. Let us embrace the seasons change. But yeah, let us know what you guys are thinking. Tell us where we went wrong. Tell us what your thoughts are, and we can't wait to see you next time on the Playbook.